There comes a moment in every life when the weight feels too heavy, when the journey feels longer than expected, and when the voice inside whispers, "I can't do this anymore." You didn't plan to feel this tired. You didn't imagine the struggle would last this long. You started with faith, with passion, with fire in your heart, but somewhere along the way, disappointment tried to steal your strength. This is not a sign that you are weak. This is a sign that you are human. But it is also the moment when heaven leans in closest to you. When you first began, you didn't have all the answers, but you had vision. You didn't have all the resources, but you had belief. You didn't know how everything would work out, but you trusted that God would make a way. That beginning mattered. God was there when you took the first step, and He has not left you now that the road feels rough. The same God who gave you the dream is still watching over the process. Many people quit not because the dream is wrong, but because the middle is hard. The middle is where faith is tested. The middle is where patience is stretched. The middle is where you learn whether you will live by feelings or by trust. The enemy knows this, and that is why discouragement attacks hardest when you are closer than you realize. What feels like delay is often preparation. What feels like silence is often alignment. Remember why you started, not for applause, not for comfort, not for ease, but because something deep inside you knew this path was God-given. You felt it in prayer. You sensed it in your spirit. It wasn't excitement alone, it was conviction. That conviction didn't disappear just because the journey became difficult. It is still there, waiting for you to stand up again. Every tear you've cried has been seen. Every prayer whispered in exhaustion has been heard. God does not waste pain. He uses it to build endurance, wisdom, and depth. The struggle you are in right now is shaping you into someone strong enough to carry the blessing that is coming. If it came too early, it would crush you. That's why God takes His time, because He loves you too much to release you before you're ready. Do not measure your progress by how you feel today. Measure it by how far you've come. There was a time when you prayed just to survive what you are now standing in. There was a season when this level was only a hope. You are not behind. You are being refined. You are not failing. You are being trained. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. When giving up feels tempting, pause and remember, God does not start what He does not intend to finish. He planted this vision in you, knowing every obstacle ahead. He saw the delays, the resistance, the nights you would question everything, and still He chose you. That means there is grace for this season, strength for this moment, and victory waiting on the other side of your obedience. Lift your eyes again. Not to the problem, but to the promise. Not to the exhaustion, but to the purpose. Not to what's missing, but to who is with you. You didn't come this far to stop now. The breakthrough you're praying for may be one step beyond your persistence. So breathe, pray again, take the next step, even if it's small. Faithfulness in the hard moments is what unlocks miracles. And one day, very soon, you will look back and thank God you didn't quit when it was hardest, because what's coming will prove that every step, every tear, and every moment of endurance was worth it. Stay the course. Heaven is not finished with you yet. When you feel like giving up, the first thing you must return to is the reason you started. Every journey that carries meaning begins with a moment of conviction. There was a time when your heart burned with clarity, when your vision felt alive, when you knew deep inside that this path was not random but purposeful. You did not start because it was easy. You started because something inside you refused to stay silent. That inner stirring was not emotional excitement alone. it was direction. And when the road becomes heavy, when progress feels slow, and when opposition rises, the enemy's first strategy is, when you feel like giving up, one of the most powerful truths you must remember is that the struggle you are facing is not a sign of failure, but evidence of growth. Many people quit, not because they are weak, but because they misunderstand resistance. They assume that difficulty means they are on the wrong path, when in reality, difficulty often means they are exactly where they are supposed to be. Every meaningful calling attracts opposition. Every worthwhile dream demands endurance. If what you were pursuing had no value, there would be no pressure trying to stop you. Think about this carefully. Nothing great is born without pain. Seeds must break before they grow. Muscles must tear before they become strong. Faith must be tested before it becomes unshakable. The discomfort you are experiencing right now is not punishment. It is preparation. God does not waste pressure. He uses it to shape you, stretch you, and position you for what you asked Him for. Many people pray for elevation, but panic when pressure arrives, not realizing pressure is the elevator. When challenges multiply, the natural reaction is to question yourself. You begin to wonder if you misheard God, if you aim too high, if you should settle for less. But this is exactly where many destinies are aborted, not because God withdrew His promise, but because people allowed temporary pain to silence eternal purpose. The enemy does not fight what is going nowhere. Resistance is confirmation that your life is moving in a direction that matters. There will be seasons where progress feels invisible. You will be doing the right things, staying faithful, showing up, praying, working, believing, yet nothing seems to change. This is where many people lose heart. But what you must understand is that growth often happens underground before it appears above ground. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean nothing is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is building. Wisdom is increasing. Timing is aligning. If everything happened instantly, you would not be strong enough to sustain it. Delay is not denial. Delay is development. God is more interested in who you are becoming than how fast you arrive. What you are learning in this season, patience, endurance, discipline, humility, will protect the blessing when it comes. Many people receive answers they are not ready to handle, and it destroys them. God delays not to frustrate you, but to prepare you. You must also remember that your current struggle is not permanent, but quitting can make it permanent. Feelings change, seasons shift, and circumstances turn. What feels unbearable today will not feel the same tomorrow if you stay. Giving up offers temporary relief, but long-term regret. Perseverance feels heavy now, but it produces peace later. The pain of discipline is always lighter than the pain of regret. There are moments when strength runs low and motivation disappears. In those moments, you are not required to feel strong. You are required to stay faithful. Faithfulness does not mean feeling inspired every day. It means choosing obedience even when emotions say stop. Some days the bravest thing you can do is simply not quit. Heaven honors endurance. Breakthrough often comes one step after the point where most people give up. Remember this: the version of you that started this journey believed you were capable. That belief was not accidental. God planted it. And He has not changed His mind about you just because the process became uncomfortable. The struggle is not proof that you are failing. It is proof that you are being refined. Stay in the process. Stay under the hand of God. Stay committed even when it hurts. What you are becoming is worth what you are enduring. When you reach the point where you feel like giving up, one of the most powerful things you can do is to shift your focus from your weakness to God's strength. There comes a moment in every journey where human effort reaches its limit. You have prayed, planned, worked, and sacrificed, yet the results seem delayed or invisible. This is often the moment people quit, believing they have failed or that God has forgotten them. But in truth, this is usually the moment when God is preparing to reveal his power most clearly. Your weakness is not a sign of... In conclusion, when you reach a place where quitting feels easier than continuing, that moment is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of transition. It is often the point just before growth, clarity, and breakthrough. Remembering why you started reconnects you to the purpose that gave you strength in the beginning, reminding you that your journey was never accidental. Every struggle, delay, and setback has been shaping your character, deepening your faith, and preparing you for something greater than you first imagined. Do not measure your journey by how tired you feel today, but by the calling that awakened your heart when you first began. The same purpose that started the work in you is still alive, still active, and still guiding you forward. When you choose perseverance over surrender, faith over fear, and purpose over pressure, you align yourself with a strength beyond your own. Keep moving, even if it's one small step at a time. What you are becoming is worth every moment of endurance, and the reason you started will soon make sense in ways you never expected.